estate planning. Le ndaba ye-estate planning, kunabantu abathi certain things they will not do, they will not put in place. And that's exactly why I'm here, because I happened to meet one of those particular cases. When it comes to estate planning, guys, in terms of statistics, because the last time I also made it clear, in terms of statistics, over 75% of South Africans do not have wills, meaning they don't do estate planning. Because estate planning, definitely you will have a will. I'm sure about that. So a lot of people, in South Africa, more than 75% don't, what? They don't go through estate planning. That's the assumption, because they don't have wills. And of that 75%, in fact, last I checked, the number was around 80-something%, but I'm saying over 75%, right? Of that number of South Africans, 74% are Black people who don't have wills. Of that, above 75% of people who don't have wills in South Africa, about 74% of them are Black people. They don't have wills. What does this mean? This means that a lot of us do not go through estate planning. Guys, there's a lot of things that form part of estate planning. And you might only be aware mostly of three. Number one, a will, a trust, and some form of policy. But there are other things depending on to ubani and what do you have. So once you miss estate planning, you must just know that the people you are leaving behind definitely will suffer from something because of that decision you have made. And I must say this to you. You cannot dismiss something you don't understand. You cannot dismiss something you don't understand. You have got to understand it first and then say, I don't think I need it. When it comes to estate planning, kunezinto that you must have, i.e. a will is a must. If you are saying you are really tapping into estate planning, it's not even an option. And if you've ever had a discussion with someone, you will know why ngithi that one is not up for discussion. Because you think what happens when you don't have a will. I'm just going to tell you about a few of the cases that I often come across. Because people have parents or siblings that passed away without wills. Okokuqala, your children. You don't have a will, which means you don't choose these kids will stay with who when you have passed. And you know what happens when you guys pass away? Umuntu oqala oza ngaphambili that seems a bit sensible, athi I want to take these kids and raise them, normally will get those kids. And unfortunately, even though that person might get those kids, the kids would not be even familiar with this person. They would not even have the desire to live with this person. They also sometimes don't even have a relationship with this person. But because this family is a family of yours and they have come forward and they look sensible and responsible enough to take care of those kids, then in most instances, they will be given those kids. If you hear the stories of those kids about the bad treatment that they received from those people, and in some instances, those kids knew that you never had a relationship with that person and that was not your desire that they stay with them. But because you did not have a will, because you did not express your intention, abantwana ended up going to stay with someone you had no good relationship with. They ended up staying and living in a horrific situation. Because of you. You are the problem. You did not draft the will. Now those kids have to bear the repercussions. Into yokuqala leyo that we often come across. And uzothola ukuthi these kids, when they often come and speak out, they try to find out, is there anything that they have, because they did not benefit from nothing that you left. And they are frustrated. They don't know where to start. Because iy'mali zakho vele, because of this person who took over those kids, that person got access to those monies, and those monies were unfortunately not used for the best interest of those kids. Had you drafted a will and stipulated who should look after your kids, you would have made a difference. But now, most instances, the person is no longer there. We don't even know, we can't even point a finger at them and say, look at what you have done. They are gone. The kids are the ones that bear the brunt. You don't want to put your kids in that situation. That's the first thing that happens when you don't draft a will. The second thing that often happens is that imali get moved kwindawo esibiza ngokuthi i-government guardians fund. When the monies go there, your people don't have control of them. That is a department at the master of the High Court. Each time your children need money, they have got to apply to the government guardians fund. Kunabantwana abashonelwa abazali from the age of 9, today they are 18, they have never seen a single cent. It's there at the guardian government's fund because they are struggling. The process is a bit stringent. They still haven't gotten access. They are still going to start to get access or to try and claim. Some will say, please help, we need direction, because we haven't even gotten a cent. It's sitting there because after mother passed away, she didn't have a will, she didn't stipulate where this money should be going. So because besbancane, what the law says kids cannot inherit, so the money is going to be kept somewhere. If the person now who's looking after those kids needs access to the money, they must provide documentation and fill out forms on a year-to-year basis. And unfortunately, they will have to do with what they are approved for. And when you were alive, there was a certain standard you had made those kids accustomed to okokuqala. And unfortunately, that's not the problem of the Guardians Fund. What the issue there is, you need to get access, or the child needs to get access to the money that you need. The lifestyle that you had gotten those kids accustomed to is not going to be their problem. They're going to be looking at the paperwork and what is needed in terms of school fees and uniform, so which means that they will get exactly what is needed to take care of those things. And the second thing is that unfortunately they can't say I need 50,000. They will be given a number and they will have to make do with what they have. They cannot be disputing that because they will be subject to the stringent terms of the fund. Had you drafted a will and directed where these funds you're leaving behind should go, your family would have had better access to them. And you could have easily said, I want them to get this amount of money. You could have easily made that choice for yourself. Guys, you stop leaving kids in poor states, whereas you had made them accustomed to a very luxurious lifestyle. You don't do that. When you don't draft a will, that is what will happen. Now, a third thing that I just want to point out that happens is that if you pass away, and unfortunately you're not leaving a spouse, you are not leaving a child or a parent, maybe a sister or a sibling, uyashona, and you don't have a will. Yazi kwenzakalani? Makumele ukuthi bathole ama letters of or executorship so that they can get access to monies and administration can happen. Into yoqala at the master that they will be required to produce is an amount exactly to what you have left behind as security. Qale ime lapho indaba because they need that amount of money as what? As security. Had you drafted a will, this would not have happened because we would have put in conditions to ensure that udadweni law that you're looking after doesn't have to be asked to produce 600,000 rand so that they can get access to monies you have left behind so that administration can happen. We have situations where people have been left, particularly similar situations that I'm describing. Abantu have got 500,000 somewhere, others 700,000, left behind by their siblings that were supporting them. Yabo bashona. They didn't write a will. Now, in Tanzania, they're trying now, to get access to the letters of executorship, lapana master, but because you are a sibling, you are not a child to this person, you're not a spouse, we want you to give us security first, amounting to what you're going to inherit. Where do you think your sibling will get 500,000 rand to put or to place at the master as security? A lot of people now don't have access to the money that they should have access to because of this issue. Because why? You did not draft the will. When you draft a will, we make sure that there is ease for the people you are leaving behind. For instance, if there was a will, there would not be a need for this person to be producing any security. There wouldn't be a need for this person not to get access to the money you have left behind. But now you decided, will is not it. Have you done your research about what a will is? What the purpose of it is? Have you sat down with someone to really understand the context of a will? As soon as you don't even try to draft the will, you are subjecting the people you have left behind to a lot of problems. I can list so many of them, but I'm just going to list these. The other day, I even made an example. Let me sip my coffee. I probably should repeat that example for those that were not here.